Yo boys, back with another video. Today we're going to be doing Rogue Mage main team, and uh, apparently Thieves Bargain is like really good, and I haven't been running it, so I actually ended up running it a little bit later on in the video, so like the next video, or the next clip or whatever. So overall it wasn't bad, but you know, you lose out on 6% damage, and then on top of that, they're also going to be nerfing Secret Tech by another like 6 to 8%, so it's not gonna be fun to play this. Now the only viable build that there'll be this eviscerate build that you'll be able to do, and it's basically like Shadowlands Rogue, which is how it should be. So no more secret tech, which is super nice. People will actually be forced to actually do fat eviscerates and stuff, which is actually nice. Hopefully they like buff eviscerate. So like it compensates for the secret tech nerf. I highly doubt they will because people are still complaining about rogues. It really never matters. Like, rogues are always going to get complained about just because it's a rogue. I end up getting stunned here. I ended up not using my secret attack here because he had his infernal, or whatever it's called, his rock dude out, his primal earth elemental. So I ended up not using a secret attack because it's just gonna trade in between both of them and it's not gonna do any damage. So I just decided not to use it. So he ends up revivaling and we pretty much get trinket, and I shadowy dome to get away. Now in general, this team should really never lose to us. There's just a lot of teams that just never lose to us, and the reason is we die really quick. Like, in general, like, as you can see, he's already 50%, and he has yet to be touched. Like, this guy is not casted. He's gotten one Earth Shock off, and he went from 100 to 40%. So he finally gets something off. I end up opening on this guy. We end up getting the Shaman's Trinket. And as you can see, my guy's still dying, and we're not looking too high here. So he's going to be forced to block already. And by the way, this guy is doing R damage and has not clicked the cast ability. That's the first cast ability he's casted other than Hex. So, it's very nice. So at this point, we're kind of forced to go. And if my guy's shifting powered to get his buzz badge, we probably would have won. Or if I was running Thieves Bargain and got another vanish, maybe we wouldn't have to force to go. But he ends up sheeping. I'm going to end up sheep shotting, and then I'm going to kidney. And at this point, we got to win. I don't have secret tech up, and it's pretty much just GG. I don't want to space the stuns, but we're just a tiny bit off. If we only had our, combustion, as you can see, he has it up, but it was kind of too late. We kind of needed it on that last go. If he would have shifting powered like around the corner, he would have been able to get it back. But it is what it is. I'm pretty sure this is like our first game for us. Or actually, no, I don't think it's the first game. I'm not really sure. I don't remember. So as you can see, Flame Shock's his top damage, Earth Shock, all basically instant cast. That's pretty much. Here's a game that basically describes a complete outplay. So in their head, what they're going to be doing here is their whole goal is to swap here. So they're going to hold their cooldowns, and since he's not running a trinket, he has to wait for my sap to end and then swap. Now the reason that the guy didn't press anything. Usually we would DB here, but we wanted to end up. We were gonna do a blind swap go, so we ended up just going through, and I bombed last second right as my sap ends, so he can't swap. So they're still thinking he's gonna get the swap, and he ends up dying before he can get it off. So basically, what happened there is he ended up pre-walling the kidney, or the cheap shot, which was really good. The problem is he's an evoker, and people don't really like to respect our CDs. Like, if I'm clicking all my burst damage and he's clicking all of theirs, they don't want to respect that. So this is the same team. This is the time that we beat them. And as you can see, it's a really, really complex. One mistake and it's GG. If he was playing with like a priest or anything else, it would be 10 times harder. Anything that can really purge is like an insta GG. So here I end up trying to get in his port range. So I trinket here. I'm going to kidney him off this. We get trinket. We get revival. And we're going to blind swap. He's going to sheep. So we ended up getting the DR blind so then he can get a full sheep. We end up swapping here. We actually don't end up getting trinket somehow, which was pretty crazy. I end up popping damage and cloaking, and I legit do no damage. I mean, he does have wall up to be fair, but, it's whatever. We don't get his trinket. He ends up pre-sheeping him. Or not pre-sheeping him, he just sheeps him to run away. And honestly, at that point, he probably shouldn't even bother, because then at that point, we have to wait 15 seconds to go. Because basically, you're never going to kill the Ellie here unless he has no trinket, and that's basically it. Like, Ellies don't die. So here I kidney cheap shot. He's going to DR sheep, and then or he rings here, and then we're just going to do a go. So we just get that tiny bit of CC. As you can see, we end up not getting trinket, because he sheeped him beforehand. So that was like our misplay right there. Him sheeping right there was really bad for us, because we can't do anything about it. So, at this point, we're in a really bad territory. I end up stepping him. He does have block, so he just needs to get a full block. Usually you want to block before you cauterize, so maybe, yeah, because the cauterize is such a good CD, especially if they're pumping you while you're doing your bus goes and stuff. This is a bad thing right here. I think I pre-incap him, or maybe I don't. No, no, no. So yeah, he actually ends up preing me. We cheap shot him, and then we're gonna swap. He trinkets, and now we swap him, and we actually end up killing him, I think. So I'm like, yo, let's swap. I have to vanish, I think, or maybe I don't. So I'm gonna gouge him. I think I gouge him right now, or maybe I don't. Okay, so it looks like I just kidney him full send, and then we're like, yo, it's either GG or it's GG's. So he ends up not having his port's not in range, and he has orb, but I don't space any stuns, and we end up winning. I end up just DR bonding him so I can get out. Actually, I should have just saved that, but I need to get that extra blind in there. And you know, if he had his port up, he did have port, but he forgot to replace the port. So had he replaced the port, he would have just been able to port the sun, and then we would have lost. So just you know, just a misplay by them, and that's really the only way we're gonna be able to win. Now, if you played perfect rogue mage, you can win a lot of these games. But you know, playing perfect rogue mage without messing something up, especially with the amount of damage that mage takes now, it's pretty incredible. Like, Mage just takes way too much damage, and you can't even live a go. As you can see, we ended up losing versus Hunter, and his one ability was kill shot. So he did our damage with just kill shot, which is big damn. So here, this was an actual really good outplay by me here. This was pretty insane. This was a really good, insane game here. So this guy is not running D-stance, which is already tells you that something's up. When you're facing a rogue mage, you always want to run D-stance. It's like insanely OP. Or not really OP, it will be OP once it gets buffed, because it'll be 20%. So we double DBs, we're going to open here, I'm going to wait. Okay, now I'm going to do it last second. We do big damn here. I'm going to disarm him off it, or I evasion, let's see what happens. So I disarm, I trinket the disarm. I'm going to cheap shot the shaman off this, so we're just keeping him CC'd. And it looks like that's pretty much it for the CC. At this point, we're just going to, you know, get out of here. So we're going to step our teammate, use our racial. We're going to come right back out. He ends up using his, I hate that totem right there. So I end up getting out of here. He tries to get me in combat. I see that he's running around. I'm going to pre-vanish and then sap him because I know he's not going to be able to hit the guy. And then we get a complete outplay here. And we pretty much just kill him. I shadowy dome and he doesn't have swap anymore. So at this point, he's just dead. So a complete and utterly outplay situation. He gets sapped while the mage is, you know, hitting him. And I guess he was so focused on getting me in combat that he forgot to keep himself in combat. And he ended up getting taken out. But, yeah, these were really good games. I am full mastery and stuff, so it's like, it actually is nice. I got the engineering goggles. I'm pretty much fully geared. I think I might be missing, like, I don't have, like, the raid ring that gives me, like, 1,000 mastery or something. But, you know, other than that, it might have even already got nerfed. I'm not even sure. But, overall, the games didn't go terribly. I mean, it is really hard. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the highest mage is 2150, so you already know right there it's really bad. Like, we're playing a really hard comp because nobody else plays this comp. We haven't faced another rogue mage ever, really. We faced it like once, unless you're playing at like 1800. Usually, just people don't like this comp. Now here was a. This is what happens when a sub rogue ends up doing like. See, anytime you face a mage and you're with a healer, this is exactly what happens to the mage. You'll see here in a second. So my guy gets the rogue out, as you can see. He ends up DBing him out of stealth. I end up sapping him here, and then we get an insane opener. So we get his trinket off the bat. And then look at this. He shadowy duels, and then watch my mage's HP. So he alters back. He gets back down all the way. He blocks, so he hits the alter and block because the rogue is just doing, because you just don't have any HP as a mage. I mean, it's like having blue gear compared to everything else. It's pretty much just unfair. So he ends up just rupturing, and now he just vanishes and just pumps all of his damage in. So as you can see, he vanishes, and he just kills him. Like, there's nothing we can do. Like, this was our only chance, and he just ends up getting kicked, and he actually just ends up dying. So, like, as you can see, it didn't even last 2 goes, and there was 1 DPS on him. So we ended up just instantly losing, and there was really just nothing. It wasn't even close. We stood 0 chance because it's just, if you play good, you're never gonna lose to a rogue mage. It's because rogue mage isn't meant to actually beat anybody that's good. That's why there's only like the highest mage is 2120 when everyone else is like 2400. I mean, and then as you can see, this is another matchup to where we should always lose this. But sometimes there's situations where they play bad enough to where we can win, but it's usually not going to happen. So here he ends up kicking, I blind him, we get a perfect go here. He's going to sheep off the blind, so let's see if he gets it. So he got the sheep, yeah. And then we swap here, and my guy gets kicked, and watch how fast this guy gets bleeded up here. So this is, okay, so he trinket alters. I end up shadowy doling him to keep him off. Look at my guy's HP right now. He's already at 50%. He shields. He goes right through the shield. This is while the Feral is not even on him. So now he just connected. So we got through his whole Arthur time. He's back to 50%. This is all with Drew from just nothing. This is like Shaman has done really any damage yet. So he's forced block in the first go with nothing. Like, he clicked Incarn, but as you can see, I basically peeled the entire Incarn and it didn't matter. So I end up just cloaking to try to get to him here. And at this point, I'm just gonna kidney him. So then I cheap shot him so my guy can blink sheep. So he blink sheeps. We're gonna get trinket. He tried to get the re-sheep on his trinket, but he ended up grounding it. And at this point, my guy has no block, and he's just gonna purge altar time. So as you can see, it's just GG. It's not even close. I mean, we got double trinket, but since we're only able to live 2 goes, it's really just, it's not really fair. We don't really stand a chance. So he just dies to the bleeds back behind the pillar. Like, the guy's not even touching him, and he's just dead. He just gets his 1 bite off, and he ends up getting taken out. So it's another game that just GG. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.